How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. Now, a couple things to note is we restarted our save. So this is in 1.0, and we're going to go through all of the things and stuff I've done so far to kind of catch up. We've almost fully caught up, but I didn't quite have enough time this week due to some school things. So, 1.0 is out. And we're just going to continue off essentially from where we left off in the series. I'll probably title it a little bit differently in terms of like a new playlist. So it will be a Satisfactory 1.0 playlist. But it's essentially just a continuation of the previous one, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to probably go ahead and do is this episode and all episodes going forward are going to get curated into their own playlist separate from the last 20 something episodes. However, these episodes are also going to be added to that playlist, so they're going to be added in two places. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. Anyway, so let's kind of take a look at some things. So we started in the same spot as we did last time. So we did the desert spot, and I'm building the same spot we built last time. The only difference is I've kind of taken a lot of the things we've learned previously, such as kind of knowing roughly where we're building, a couple things, and yeah, there's a lot of built spaghetti over there, but we're not going to talk about that too much. So I got some concrete. There's a nice little node here, so we have concrete being made, and we have concrete or limestone being pulled from way over there. Our burners, just a nice little compact. The nice thing about 1.0 and some other things is, so we now have our flushable toilet. We can flush things, which I think is funny. Days since last incident counter, we did die to a few things. The little productive Packer Deluxe. This game is very fun, by the way, and I will say, if you are ever playing multiplayer, one of your friends or the people in your party are going to be playing this game, and you're going to wonder where they are, and they're going to be playing a game within a game, and I always think it's funny. The little Mr. Meeseeks box Easter egg, and of course all the golden customizations that we have access to. I kind of like this helmet, so that's just what I've been going with in terms of our general style, so to speak. And then of course we can see all the little things here. It smells like my earth. A Rubik's Cube, which I thought was funny. I don't honestly know what they have and haven't changed in here. Fluid dynamics for pioneers. That's funny. Because like there's a lot of stuff in here that. Oh, that's cool. On an ultimate frontier adventure. Wow. Anyway. So yeah, so we set up our hab here. We got ourselves some power, and then we did a little bit of a better power setup here, and then a bootstrap setup here. So just to kind of go through some things. So what this does is it takes both leaves and wood, put them into the side containers accordingly. They both get made into the biomass. Biomass gets turned in here. That gets turned into the logs here. Logs go there. Logs go up. And then we have all of our generators. I believe we have 8 or so. There's technically enough that, assuming we're producing enough logs, we can run 10 up there. And I think we can actually extend it more, but that's just all we had room for. To take a look at this, we have, yeah, very weird bootstrap thingy. It's not pretty to look at, but it functions. It does its job. So we have plate being made, put in here, rods being here, and then screws being put here. And then from there we have kind of our first like tier 1 item, or tier 2, I don't know how you'd classify it, but a reinforced plater being made here. We have rotors being made here, and then lastly they're both being stored up accordingly here. And then I have some other just random garbly goop in there from earlier. And then lastly, we have that component that we need, those 15, or the 50 plates. We have 15, and those are going to just continue to stockpile there. I didn't connect these two up because I don't necessarily want them all to be turned into it. I'll just manually put them in there as I need them. But that's for that. And then copper is, of course, right over here. We have our little setup kind of going on and stuff and things. I also want to make a note. So I am, while playing this, I am also concurrently playing a multiplayer run with 2 of my friends. I'm not going to record that just because, A, we're pretty far into it now. I mean, we're probably a little bit past where I'm at right now in this world. But the reason I'm not recording it, the multiplayer session, is it's just a little bit harder to do the multiplayer, and they're not super talkative on camera. So it just then becomes hard, because then we're in a Discord call and other people are doing stuff. So maybe in the future, if we get better at coordinating those things, but as of right now, we are not great at it. So then our belt spaghetti, which we will only briefly look at here. Let's go up here and we'll look at it from afar. It's not pretty. Could it be nicer? Yeah. But in all honesty, if I don't ever have to look at it, is it really there? And I'm sure some of you are going to be like, but I know it's there. But yeah, belt spaghetti. Anyway, there are some nodes we still have to tap out in the distance, but these are all the iron ones so far. There's a ton of iron here. Several pure nodes. I think there's 2 impure, and then there's like 1 normal node. So we just kind of have a whole slew of things. Technically, if I really wanted to I say min-max, but if I really wanted to go crazy with it, I would make sure that all of them are Mark IIs and whatnot. The pure nodes I'm doing Mark II because I happen to have enough reinforced plate. I'll probably go back through and consolidate so that everything that we're taking 8 belts in of Mark II. Right now we only have 4 belts of stuff, 2 Mark I, 2 Mark IIs, and then so yeah, so I'll take you through this cube. So in the old save, this is where our power was. And then I just went ahead and looked at how big of a platform can I build here. And my plan eventually is to continue over the river. I'll probably do like a cave over it, so I probably won't build foundations here or the first floor. I'll probably build starting on the second wall up there. And then so that will come over, and then it will come down, and then we'll extend it as far as we can here, and then just kind of go as far back in as we can. And kind of just the idea there is so that way we can kind of maximize our space. It's also important to note, another reason for the reason I restarted is just primarily because when I was playing it, it kept crashing. I know in the patch notes they did yesterday or today, they said that they fixed some of that, so like some of the older saves are still compatible, but in all honesty, I think restarting was the way to go, just because a lot of recipes have changed. Technically none of my builds I don't think were affected by it, as we weren't really that far enough in. Some of the node purities changed, so I guess that could have messed with some things, but at the end of the day, I'm okay with restarting. We weren't too far in. So, as we go in, so the first floor is a logistics floor, which I discovered was an actual thing. So while doing some intermediate research about things, I learned that my bright idea for something is actually just a thing that people do in this game called logistics floors, where you get to hide all your squirrely belts that you never get to look at. And then you have your nice, neat production lines. So, something that we're doing here is I have kind of my shopping mall of things here. So that way, if I need, well, power's not on, but otherwise those are going to fill up with plate and rods, these 2. So I have all my smelters here. I haven't really decided what the layout is going to quite look like in here, because like this first floor really isn't large. Like, it's big, but as any seasoned person who's played this game knows, this isn't really that much space, at least for production. Like, I could stack a ton of miners in here like that and get it really compact, just based on two of these, so that I can do 1, 2, 3, 4 like lines of these and just get really compact smelting. I'm not really sure what we're gonna do yet. I think we'll probably do some copper stuff over on that side, and then here in the middle, I'm not quite sure what we're gonna do. I might do I like more smelting of the iron, like maybe more here, and then like just keep filling up this first floor with the smelting, and then doesn't necessarily mean vertically we're gonna keep adding floors, because I don't want, want to have a skyscraper or anything. But then I guess we could do horizontal, because then we could pipe it over to the other facility that we're gonna build west of here, on the other side. And just some bars, and then a little power pole to kind of spice things up, because right now without any of the other building materials, I have to build with what we have. And then kind of another logistics floor, but this one is just, I wanted to keep it open, so that way it kind of felt like, okay, you could look down and observe. We could still see some nice organization, and then the squirreliness appears over here kind of on the side where we start to route things that nobody ever wants to look at. Yeah, there is some clipping, and until we get the whole, the conveyor holes, we're just going to do that. And I actually like how that looks, because it's nice and compact. That does suck a little bit, but I don't want to like raise everything up a single floor for like a few inches of stuff. And then up here is where we're gonna have a production floor. So this is more or less gonna be like our shopping mall floor. So this is where things that are gonna go into our like personal use chests down there, that's what's gonna go on this floor in my mind. So we have one Mark 1 belt of iron plate. We have one Mark 1 belt of rods, and we'll do the same thing with screws and so on and so forth with all that up here. So then this floor really isn't going to produce anything crazy other than just the stuff we're going to use on a daily basis. We might add another floor on top of this. I haven't quite decided yet if we do or not, or if we will. I might add a floor on top of this just so that way we have rotors, reinforced plate, and frames being made, because there should be enough room on one floor above to do all that. And then the nice thing is there's enough. One thing I learned in our multiplayer series is, because I'm basically using a very, very similar design to this in the multiplayer series, I added extra space in this one. So I'm kind of taking things I'm learning in that series and applying it here, and if I learn anything here, I'll probably apply it in our multiplayer game. But anyway, so I learned a little bit more space on the back end is nice, because see all that extra space we're not using? I end up using it to, instead of having yet another logistics floor like here, I just do another production floor immediately on top of this production floor, and then I use this space back here for all of my routing, because when you're on this side of it, you don't really see any of it, and it just adds to it, because I can stack things here, or even just offset it slightly so that like these are like that. Or what's really nice is using the floor holes. Those help a lot with maneuverability and stuff in the back end. And then trying to just make it so that I can walk around in here without having to worry too much about getting stuck somewhere. And then plenty of power poles on the inside. We, of course, did get our space elevator, but we haven't completed phase 1 yet, and we'll do that soon after. Another little design that I'm liking is just this catwalk that I put around the outside, just so that it breaks up the giant cube, or I guess giant rectangle, that is currently the base. But it does give us a little bit of a nice kind of just overview of little things. Provides a little bit of function and form. Then of course there are some spaces underneath like this where like this is all technically one structure, like it's part of the same grid, but like we have some floating pieces here and then some floating piece. So if I break those, you can't, I guess you can't see it in here. But then like some spaces, like I didn't fully fill it in because there's no point to fully filling it in. But then, I like the 4-meter cubes to make it look like it's attached. And then, of course, we have our space elevator up here. I didn't fully extend the platform the same way we did last time. We'll probably extend it at some point. And then I'll do something where, like, these are intaking stuff. I'm not really sure what those need. Does anybody have, like, a reason as to why you would use these inputs? Like, is it something in the end game that would require it? Because I feel like everything I've seen so far is like, oh, it requires 1,000 of whatever resource, so unless the stack sizes were just terrible or something. I'm not really sure, but that's just kind of what I've seen. And then what's nice is also in the starting area, we do have those coal nodes that we can use for coal power. And then plenty of nodes out there that we can also use for our thing. I don't know if they changed any of the models like on this or not. I just know that we have... We can't get any closer. Okay. Trying to think what else there is. So we plan that, and then we have our little production floor. We'll have probably one more for some of those other things. Oh, I will say. And then because of how we've been able to see kind of like what this area is going to be able to expand us into, we should be able to use a good chunk of it for a while, and do it just a little bit more compact than we did last time, I think. My goal is to try not to make just a giant orange box. At least try not to make a giant orange box for very long. But as you can see, adding this catwalk at least breaks up the silhouette a little bit. I'm sure there's going to be... I'm looking at a couple things, and then once we get smart splitters, that's when I can at least somewhat automate the overflow of things. So like for instance, the overflow on these materials here, because eventually these will pack up. I want smart splitters to probably, once we get the floor holes as well, I'll probably have it check here, and if it overflows, then have it come out and then go to one of a sink or something. That could be something we put in the middle. The sinks here. And I could even have it do it on the front end too. It was just have it pipe into here, but I'll probably have it check here first, and then put the smart splitters on this logistics floor, and then just have it by our route in and then down, because then it will give it some look as well. So it's kind of just so far where we're at, and just a little bit of an update both for the series, for those of you who've been watching the series, as well as anybody who is new to the series, or Satisfactory as a whole. So hopefully, with 1.0 now out, we should be able to start really running, so to speak. But yeah, so we got all this up and running. My goal for next episode / between episodes, and I've kind of decided I'm going to change the format a little bit. So I'm going to just progressively play this between episodes. So like this was all about this week's progress, and then basically next week's episode is going to be next week's progress, as well as if we're doing anything specifically. This one kind of just more was going over some channel updates as well as the series updates. And then, so next episode we're going to primarily focus on getting phase 1 completed, hopefully get rotors, not item frames, the cube framey things, rotors, reinforced plate, that stuff made. We'll get the top floor put together, production wise, and then hopefully get everything upgraded here and consolidated to the Mark II, and finish tapping all the iron so we can have 8 lanes in. I don't know if there is enough nodes in the desert. I know there are a lot of nodes, but I don't know what all their rarities are. Once we have all of those things put together and everything's routed in down here, and we have all of these furnaces going, then we'll kind of plan our next move for phase 2 of hopefully setting up steel. My goal is to get that part that's in the top right fully automated. I don't know what the name is off the top of my head. And then that way we can get the 1,000 we need, and then start focusing on steel and getting coal power, because this power sucks. As you can tell, it's been off the whole episode because we've burnt through a lot of wood and stuff. And I really want the plant life to regrow because this looked really nice when I first started, but I have kind of had to take the leaves and wood, and now it looks like doo-doo. I mean, I did technically turn down some of the graphics, but like once you get closer, it does start to look a little bit better. But I don't think the plant life regrows, if I'm not mistaken, based on some comments I've seen both on Reddit and other videos about the game. So yeah, because like I really enjoy the plant life, and as much as I would love to build around it, unfortunately we've had to use it for power. So we have had to be the greedy industrialist capitalist in order to save humanity. Which, by the way, I've really enjoyed the addition of story, so the little tidbits. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you guys did, leave a big thumbs up on the episode and the series as a whole. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, leave those down below. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and peace out.